Curtis Sliwa, nice to have you back on Good Day New York.
Oh, good to be back on Good Day Early Call New York prior to you, which I was there for 13 years. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, well, let's talk about crime because it was a very busy weekend, sadly, in New York City. And you made sure that you were in Corona the day after that terrible mass shooting. Thank goodness nobody was killed. But what does it take to get some attention? Where was the mayor? What's going on?
Well, as you can see, Bill de Blasio, the part-time mayor, I call him the dope from Park Slope. What did he do last week in the Bronx? First, he was shooting air balls, hoops in the Belmont section. When the residents came up and said, we have serious gang issues, serious gun issues, serious crime issues, he was oblivious. And then you saw on Orchard Beach on Friday, the goofball was playing volleyball while nearby communities are under siege from gangs and guns and increased violence. He barely addressed that. And I've been in Corona for many years where there's been growing gang violence. This is not an exception to the rule. In this case, Trinitarios, the Dominican gang, were targeted by either MS-13 or 18th Street. These are Central American or Mexican gangs. And in our entire discourse, nobody has said, well, the gang unit of the NYPD, once the very best in the nation, has been neutered, has been rendered impotent after the lockdown. They no longer have a chief. They no longer have a citywide effort. And quite frankly, if we're going to deal with aliens who are part of gangs, some illegal, you have to get ICE involved from immigration because they have the best gang strike task force in existence. They can actually track gang members as they go across the border, something that the NYPD can't do. So we got to get everybody involved. Individually, it will be difficult to deal with, but the cops have to be proactive. We need more cops, and more importantly, we need DAs to actually prosecute to the full extent of the law instead of this no bail provision that just releases them into the streets instead of remanding them to Rikers
So,
Island.
Curtis, I know yesterday you were talking about stop and frisk and making sure that police officers were doing that. Earlier on Good Day New York, we talked to Eric Adams, who you're running against, and he said it is being enforced. Listen to what he had to say in his own words.
It's not called stop and frisk, and I'm going to share that with Curtis. It's called stop, question, and frisk. And people miss the question part. If a civilian calls the police and tells them someone is outside their door with a gun, that police officer has the right to stop and question that person.
So, is it being done? I mean, do you know, have you talked to police officers on the beat? Are they have a problem with doing that? Are they not being proactive? What is the story?
They've been restricted from stop, question, frisk, stop and frisk. Whatever way you give a term for it, it's no longer being utilized. Now, at one time in the latter part of the Bloomberg administration, it was being abused. But when it's used appropriately, it is constitutional. And you've got to do traffic stops. You've got to stop these gangbangers who are on these mopeds, on these motorcycles, and are doing drive-by shootings at times. And the police are not being asked to do that. In fact, they're asked to be reactive after the fact instead of proactive to get the guns off the street. The street crime unit could do that. They're no longer in effect. They were disbanded when Mayor de Blasio, too busy playing volleyball and basketball, took $1 billion out of the police budget. As mayor, I would not only restore the $1 billion, I would hire 3,000 additional police with a property tax that is specific to Madison Square Garden, Columbia, and NYU that right now pay no property taxes. And that's how we can get the force up to 38,000. But we got to take the handcuffs off the cops and put it on to the criminals, especially the gangbangers who are responsible for most of these crimes. We're not just talking Trinitarios. We're not just talking 18th Street, MS-13. We're talking Bloods and Crips and Latin Kings and Nietas. They have a citywide effect, and that's why we need a reinforced gang unit that has a chief that is specific to cracking down on gangs in all 5 boroughs, not just at a borough level. And we need the help of the feds, especially ICE, that track the aliens as they go across the border who are members of some of these gangs.
Curtis, we do know that the violence not only comes from gang violence, but also the situation with the homeless. And I know you have a stance on this, especially concerning Stephen Banks, who's the current Homeless Services Commissioner. You said if you became mayor, you would send him packing. Now, Eric Adams completely disagrees with you on this. kind of praising him for the work that he's done. So why do you guys differ so much on this topic?
Well, Eric Adams does not want to criticize his mentor and the man behind the scenes who promoted his candidacy, Bill de Blasio. He's Bill de Blasio 2.0. He would actually continue with Stephen Banks, who has had a failed homeless program here in the city of New York, where he's forced shelters into neighborhoods that should not have had them. And look at the enormous number of homeless people we have now, as opposed to when Bill de Blasio was elected to replace Michael Bloomberg. So obviously, Eric Adams is rewarding failure. It's the Peter principle. Do a lousy job with homeless services under Eric Adams, but you're a friend of Bill de Blasio, and you get to continue to be a failed homeless security director. No, we need a whole new approach. These shelters, of which many I've been in, Eric Adams hasn't, they have to have programs in the shelters for those with alcohol problems, drug addiction, emotional issues. You can't just warehouse them like Stephen Banks does at 10 o'clock at night and then kick them out the door into the neighborhoods where you force them in without any transparency to roam the streets and create problems for themselves and everyone else. It's a failed policy. And notice that Eric Adams is de Blasio 2.0. He wants to continue that failed policy with the author of it, Stephen Banks. What a disgraziata, as we would say in the streets.
Well, Curtis, real fast, what are your thoughts on spending in education? We spend the most per student in the country, yet one half of them are not at the proper reading and writing level. But talk about this proposal to spend about $200 million on cultural responsible curriculum. Should this be a priority right now when we're coming out of a pandemic, when you have very high levels of kids that are being left behind in terms of where they're at mathematically and academically? Is this the right thing to do right now?
Well, cultural responsible curriculum will lead eventually to CRT, critical race theory, which will divide our students. Now, you say, whether you have critical race theory or cultural responsible curriculum, isn't it more important that children read at their grade level when half the children cannot read at their grade level, when recent scores from the state indicated that third graders in the New York City school system were not even proficient in math and in reading at their grade level? I think we have to start with the basics: reading, writing, arithmetic, and the most important are respect, because we don't need to teach teachers not to be biased. We need to teach children who are coming from dysfunctional homes not to be disruptors in the classroom and interrupters, who then are a threat to the teachers, a threat to their fellow students, the administration. We need to get control of the classroom so that teachers can teach, not have to reach into their pockets. And imagine, buy supplies for the children themselves. With the DOE has a $33 billion budget, and teachers are still forced to buy supplies for their children. No, we've got to get the children back into the classroom with the teachers. We got to make them safe and secure and make sure that behavioral modification, the money is spent to train children to behave in class so teachers can do their job and children can be safe and administrators can oversee the public school system. It's a very simple approach, instead of all of a sudden spending money on things we really don't need and will create division instead of unification.
All right, Curtis Sliwa, thank you so much for coming on Good Day New York. We didn't see any of your pets this morning, though. What happened to them?
Where's the cats?
Oh, no, remember, no-kill shelters. That is one of my main campaigns.
We know.
Never
We know,
gonna kill
Curtis.
a dog or a cat again in the city shelter system. I promise you that as mayor.
Okay, thanks, Curtis.